I was there, June. You had a really exciting fight in Florida. I think you definitely went out, showed out, did what you said you were gonna do. But looking back on it and thinking about now having quote unquote a name on your record, how do you feel about that fight? And what are your thoughts on it? Was there anything that surprised you about the fight? The lead up, the aftermath? Yeah, where you at with it?
Well, look, I showed up and showed out. Adrian Broner, AB, he showed up and showed out. He put on a spectacular performance. And all credit to him for doing what he did and doing what I did. And we should be like, moving forward to bigger and better things. Or hell, we could probably run it back if he wants to do that. I haven't heard any word about that, but or whatever. But yeah, it was a good fight. Broner was incredibly resilient. I would wager most fighters would not survive the shots that he got hit with. Um, and no, it didn't look like he was like off or something like that. It didn't look like he had like, oh yeah, like bro, I had a longer layoff than him. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like
Mhm.
he came in there and looked exactly the way I thought he would. There's just a lot of content on him. There's a lot of things to see about Adrian Broner. The thing is, it's not just not enough content on somebody like me. So like whilst I got a big question mark on my head, everybody else is a little bit different. You know what I mean? But that's the part that takes people by surprise. A lot of fans would have been like, "Oh yeah, well no, Broner's supposed to beat this guy. This guy, oh he must be old." No, he's actually the same Broner that I prepared for. That's the problem. He's the same Broner I prepared for. You know what I mean? Like, look, if we had fought years ago, let's say 5, 6, 7 years ago, it'd be the exact same fight because he would not know what the fuck he getting himself into. And I would know everything. I would know exactly what he's doing with that quick hook that he got when he's setting up traps. I would know exactly what he's doing, like when he's trying to unload a quick little combos and jump in and out of range. I mean, it's not gonna work against somebody like me. I'm taller, I'm stronger, and like I'm unpredictable. You can't count on my timing at all. I got an offbeat timing, and I'm very unpredictable. Um, I throw punches from awkward angles. It's all the makings of something that will pretty much knock like people like Boots clean the fuck out. You know what I
Oh, we
mean?
gonna get there. We gonna get there. We
Like
gonna get
it's just
there.
it's the makings of something that's very unorthodox and people can't see coming. It's the making of greatness, and that's what boxing really needs. Boxing needs unpredictability right now. Boxing needs a character that can like push the envelope of superstardom and mega stardom and boxing. I mean, because boxing's kind of falling off. And like let's put like this: what happens when Canelo leaves the game? What happens when some of these top guys leave the game? We're left with nothing outside of Blair the Flair. So like we should probably be pushing the Blair the Flair movement and let Blair the Flair have his roses today instead of trying to push him out and wait him out and like do whatever they can do to stop. I mean, that's and what they've been doing, like
So let me
making
ask you this then. Let me ask you this. With all that being said, and coming off that victory, because a lot of people, it's boxing, it's funny like that, right? Sometimes a name, and not saying that Adrian Broner is just a name because he's not, but having a name matters, right? You've got that name on your record. You fought that guy. How do you turn that into a bigger fight? And against who?
how can I fight like Broner with the bigger fight?
No, no. How do you turn that victory, right? Because now you have that victory. Now it's on your record. So how does that translate into having like a bigger fight? And who would you want that bigger fight with?
Well, the bigger fight would probably be Ennis, or Ryan Garcia. Those would be the best fights for me. Ryan probably first because if I spank Ennis and catch Ennis quick with like a fucking the first 2, 3, 4 rounds and he goes out and he never comes back again to boxing, it'll be very, very hard for me to lock down a contract with like a good fight outside of that. It'd be harder. Knocking off somebody like Ryan would probably be better because after Ryan, they can always say that, well, he was a nobody, or like, oh yeah, he was a 140 pounder. It gives people a way out to say that maybe it was a fluke. I like the idea, and like I've consistently been good at it, is making people believe that I'm stupid. It's been the best characteristic with me is making people believe I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because of the raw talent and the fact that I don't have a whole lot of circumstantial fights to smooth out my boxing skills to make it look like sharp and precise and everything and make it look pretty and neat. Because you see a beautiful mess or a beautiful staged chaos in the ring, it doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing. That's the problem. Like a lot of people are starting to catch on and it makes it hard every time I make a big fight and win a big fight. It makes
Get the
it
next one.
hard. Yeah, it's incredibly hard to get the next fight. After the Hooker fight, there was no Virgil Ortiz fight after that. After the
Yeah.
Hooker fight, there was nothing on the table. We were talking, they
And
were talking all type of game before the fight, before the Hooker fight, they were talking all types of game. After the Hooker fight, it's all fuck that. Nah, nigga, we're gonna try to shelf you as long as possible. Okay, not go over $1 million. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
I,
it's a lot of nonsense.
Nah, I got you. And real quick, I just want to make sure we, shout out the fans who's joining us. The angry casual fan, just so you know, you definitely got to believe in here. He says Cobbs stops boots. So shout out to the angry casual fan showing you love for
Oh,
sure.
he's crazy. He's crazy.
Yep. He's saying you stopping boots. So there you
He's
go.
crazy. He's crazy. It's either he's crazy or he sees what I see, and that's crazy. That's
There you,
crazy.
there you go. So let me ask you another question then, right? Obviously, looking for that next fight, and having this one loss on your record with Rocha, right? But thinking about Alexis, he's in the top 10 for 3 out of the 4 sanctioning bodies. Would you rather, like a bigger name and just continuing to grow that way, or maybe taking him on because it puts you in the top 10? I would assume, right? You'd be the top 10 guy ranked 3 sanctioning bodies. Is going to raise you into that place where you could get a championship fight. What path would you prefer? Like, do you want that fight back? And does
well,
getting
well,
ranked mean something to you?
I mean, well, first things first. I got a lot of talking with these sanctioning bodies to do because I should definitely be top 10 in every sanctioning body. I'm the only welterweight fighter that actually fought a name with all these people that's trying to get like credibility without actually fighting anybody. I'm the only one that's done it, and I've done it under extreme circumstances. I'm one of the very few people in the welterweight division that's fought more than just one ex-champion. I've done a lot already with the very little bit of fucking fights that I've had. And I should definitely be ranked higher than Alexis Rocha. That's for damn sure. Fighting Alexis Rocha. Um I pretty much scared them the fuck off with the Hooker fight. Um if they want the smoke, I'll definitely take it. You know what I mean? I would definitely love the smoke. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a chain
Absolutely.
smoker. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they want the smoke, we can get the smoke. You know what I mean? And I'll go ahead and put them out. I'll go ahead and put them out and go ahead and show people how fast things change when people have a fair fight. You know what I mean? Things like that changes. But I feel like I already proved that over and over again. It was only like maybe like 2 or 3 months after Alexis Rocha, I fought an even better fighter and an ex world champion and a far better fighter, a tougher fighter too.
You talking about Maurice?
Yeah, and Maurice Hooker. I mean, why didn't they give? him Maurice Hooker? I wonder. They didn't give Maurice Hooker him because he might win. Hooker is not is a problem. And the only reason why like Hooker didn't look so great against Virgil is because he had a broken hand before the fight. Before the fight, he broke his hand. And then they stopped the fight because of the agony from his hand. It's a different situation, you know what I mean? Every situation was always circumstantial, and right now I'm trying to push the movement for truth instead of like these setups that like these promoters, matchmakers, and fighters and trainers want to provide. They give people the fake, and they try to falsify and create champions that are not real. They're not legit until they've been in a fight, until they actually been tested.
Got you. Got you. And for anybody joining us, I see more people coming into the chat. This is No Holds Bar. I got my man Blair the Flair here. We talking about what's hot in boxing.
I love
You
the
know, this
art, man. I love the art in the background. Damn it, I wish I had some art in the background. No,
good
I,
looking.
I need to have like a studio now. You making me look bad.
Stop it, brother. Stop. Good looking though. Good looking, man. This stuff was on the floor for like over a year, so I finally got it up. Now we working. Appreciate you joining us. And everybody else joining us. No holds bar, yo. We talking about what's hot in boxing right now. I'm with my man Blair the Flair. So, Blair, look, anybody who missed anything, just be aware this will all be back up on Fight Hype in different versions, so you'll catch it all. But we spoke to Blair about a lot. I want to transition into something that you had mentioned, right? A man you're familiar with, Jaron Boots Ennis. So, he's got a fight right now against Karen Chukazian, right? And I hope I didn't mispronounce Karen's last name too much. But, you know, uh, he's his mandatory, right? He's his mandatory. But what do you think about this fight? And do you think that Boots is under like any pressure at all to perform well, considering that they fought before and he beat him, but not in spectacular fashion?
What guy was this? Where's this guy from?
I don't want to get Karen's home country wrong. I could tell you in a second, but Karen is somebody that Boots have fought in the past, and he gave Boots a good fight. It wasn't the prettiest fight, especially thinking about like what you talked about. You like your style, and maybe some people give Boots credit for that he's slick or a little tricky, right? It didn't look like a classic what you would call Boots fight, but he's his mandatory now, so they got to fight again. But
You talking about the mover.
the
Is
mover.
that who he's fighting? Oh man. If that mover ever had a gun, he'd be dead, man. He'd be dead, man. Like Boots would not be good, man. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? He would be not in the best shape. But no, he's definitely gonna get that guy. Hopefully he gets him out. Shout out to everybody from Philly that backs Boots. Boots is an incredible fighter. But no, he's not gonna do well with like really good movement. That'll always be a problem because like it'll go against his counter abilities. It'll stop him from doing certain things and makes him think a little bit of extra and do a little bit of extra work that he might not be great at doing. Puts him in a gunfire, but it makes him have to switch a lot. Like it makes him have to do a lot of things, a lot more. Um, but um, but yeah, incredible fighter though. I think Boots is going to dust them off somehow, some way.
Yeah,
He's
and if that happens, right? It's
yeah.
147. Obviously, he's a mandatory. Then it kind of opens up a little bit. You got Barrios, you got Stanionis, you got Norman, you got all these guys now at 147 that have kind of taken their positions, right? Since Bud moved on from the division. But we all know your history. You spoke about the sparring back in the day with you and Boots. But does that motivate you? Like, because obviously sometimes, his name is brought up, or you may say his name. But is there motivation, like an underlying factor? Like, man, I want my lick back. I don't want it to end on that sparring session.
No, I didn't really have that at all. Like, look, let's put it like this. When we sparred, right, he was just a kid and I didn't give him a chance in hell or a thought at all. I'm like at the time, I'm like the big prodigy in Philly. I'm unbelievably talented and everyone is scared of me. Everyone is scared of what I can do because what I am. I'm a freaking nature fighter. and it just was one of those things where as though I was in a big slump at that time because I went like my first year as a professional, I had like what, like maybe like a couple fights, and then I went 4-0 for a long time. I think I was inactive for like 3 years.
Yeah, it's a
You
long
know?
time.
So if you can imagine what being inactive would look like at the beginning of your career, it looks like, damn, man, why the fuck am I training again? Why am I fighting? Like,
Yeah, it's hard to find that motivation, I can
yeah,
imagine.
like shit, I gotta fucking find a job. Like, damn, shit, man. I wonder if they'll take my fucking credit, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of shit that, you know what I mean? Like, damn, man, I might need to fucking sell some drugs or something. Like, what the fuck? This shit is getting fucked. You know, I mean, life can hit you like that. It can hit you to a point where you feel like that, and you're probably going through that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in cases, you know what I mean? And so like when you think about where I was and at that particular time, you know what I mean? And you gotta think about the name I had at that time. There's a reason why they would bring that sparring up. It's because I was a big like name in Philadelphia at the time. It meant something. They're like, oh, this is my rite of passage. If we could just get one good day, we catch him off guard just one time. Just catch him off guard one time, we be good. We just gotta look good against him. Just one time. You know what I mean? Like catch him off time. And like, and like that was like their little claim to fame against me for that little small period of time. And then things moved on. No, I didn't think nothing of it because I still didn't really think too much of him at the time, and I was like, okay, and okay, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna get somebody that's gonna put some money back you, but we'll see what happens when you get punched in your mouth. I mean, like the truth will come out sooner or later. You know what I mean? If we'll see if you a bitch or not. You know what I mean? We'll see if you give up that booty or not, man. Like that's how it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, Blair. You wow, boy. All right. So let me
For
let me
real,
ask you
like
this then.
I want to say no Diddy, but it's all Diddy. Like
No, it's
no,
definitely a no Diddy. It's like two of them at least. I think you got two of them. You owe me two. Two no
for
Diddy's.
real. No
Definitely.
Diddy.
Oh, he
I mean, he
crazy.
is Boots. I mean, you sound like you want to get your loot back.
You wild, you wild. All right, look, Boots. Boots is tricky, right? I gotta refocus here. I gotta bring it back. I gotta bring it back. I'm gonna be in Philly this weekend, yo, Boots. I ain't say none of that. Nah, real talk though. Boots is
That's
tricky.
Boots.
He's slick. He's a fast fighter, uses either hand, right? Some say he's big for 147. Some say you're big for 147. But let's just say y'all were to fight, right? How do you deal with that? How would you say that you would achieve the victory?
Oh man, I like. I don't think that's really the real question. The real question is how he's going to deal with me. How's he
Tell me
going to
about it.
how's he going to deal with my antics? How's he going to deal with the real stage of fighting? How's he going to deal with the fact that like his father can't fight for him? None of his family members can fight for him. His brothers and his sisters can't fight for him. And like and Philly is going to hang you out to dry when you lose to somebody like me. And they're going to take my side and I'm going to take over. And he can see it, he can feel it, he can smell it, he dreams about it. When the fight is coming up, you know what I mean, coming to fruition, and like the only person that's like not tense about the situation is me. It's gonna fucking feel real uncomfortable. Because the thing is, I'm comfortable with this bullshit. I mean, look at Broner. I mean, look at Hooker. I mean, look at these guys. I mean, let's put it like this. My two ex-champions, I got I think I what I took out 4 knockdowns in within the first 2 rounds. What's the odds of him getting punched in the fucking mouth before the fucking second round end? What's the odds of him going down before the fucking third round end? What's the odds of him fucking like really like trying to figure out whether like boxing's for him, like in the midst of that fight? The odds is pretty fucking high. Um, there is no amount of practice. There's no amount of like oh a preparation to actually prepare him for what would happen against somebody like me. How you gonna prepare for somebody like me? Oh, you're just gonna spar left-handed fighters? I'm a freak of nature fighter. Only way that you could fucking prepare for me is if you somehow fucking got Manny Pacquiao in your fucking training camp. That's crazy. You know?
There you go. There you go. We put a period on it. We put a period
Yeah,
on it.
if you somehow brought Aaron Pryor out of fucking like if you somehow like shrunk down Roy Jones and brought him back to youth, you just might have something on my ass. You know, but like and made him southpaw. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like these freaking nature fighters only come once in a blue moon, and it's very interesting when things do happen. The freaking nature fighter doesn't always win. The freaking nature fighter doesn't always be the guy, and the reason why is because a lot of politics is involved, a lot of things that like have nothing to do with actually fighting becomes a part of it. um I just wish that it wasn't, and I have to fight for the right to like to become. I have to fight for the right to be beyond politics, to be beyond just the oh I know this guy, or oh I'm with Al Heyman now. Oh I'm with Eddie Hearns now. I have to fight to be beyond that and be a true champion that's going to speak for the people. And shit, man, like this, if I don't do it, who else is doing it? Because after Canelo's gone, what do we have now?
Yeah, no, it's gonna get interesting. It's definitely gonna get interesting, and there's a couple things in reference to that we're gonna touch on. Let's switch gears a little bit, right? So, somebody that, and thank you for all that insight. I know fans, they get interested in hearing about, obviously how you feel on different things, but especially those big name fights, right? Look,
Mm,
Boots is definitely a great fighter, and he's set in
he's,
his path. But we
he's
don't know too many
spectacular.
big names. We don't know too many big names that he's fought. It'd be interesting, my opinion. Cobbs, Boots, I think that'd be a cool fight. Who knows? I
You
hope it
know
happens.
why
I hope it
you don't
happens.
know too many big names? That's because there is no big names. There is no big names. There's I don't even know if he's ever even fought an ex-champion. Um, there is nothing. There's just his name. And the incredible looming false future that haven't came to fruition yet. It's a lot of speculation without actually like the truth being revealed. You know, I want to believe that maybe he is the guy and boxing can sustain, but only way we're gonna find out is if he fight Blair to Flair. And the only way we're gonna fucking find out that where boxing is really going to go is if he fight Blair Flair, because honestly we need a star. We don't need another just like Terrence Crawford needs to fight somebody like me. He needs to fight somebody that will keep boxing alive. They
Yeah,
need
no, we gonna talk about Crawford too.
yeah.
Let me
I
ask you
think
about this.
boxing needs like somebody that has charisma, like Floyd Mayweather, to push the envelope with boxing, because if you don't, you could lose boxing. I mean, we're lucky that we even have a boxing game right now. It's been what, 11
We
years?
gonna talk about that too.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
So
gonna talk about that too.